Straight ahead on Fox 44 News at 5:30, we're in day 2 of the Cedric Marks sentencing. We have a live update. And we tell you why the Waco Police Department's issuing an apology after an incident over the weekend. Also, TXU Energy and Caritas of Waco teaming up to help Texans beat the heat.
Live from Waco, Temple, and Killeen, your news now. This is Fox 44 News at 5:30.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Fox 44 News at 5:30. I'm MG Montemayor. Adam Hooper has a night off. The state has now rested its case in the sentencing portion of the Cedric Marks trial after going into his history of bad acts. Leading up to the state's concluding remarks, the jury learned new details into Marks' ties in the disappearance of April Pease. Fox 44's Earl Stoudemire joins us live outside the Bell County Justice Center to explain Marks' response to the new information. Earl.
MG, Cedric Marks blew up at Judge Steve Dusky using profanity as his former wife Janelle McDonough testified as to how Marks confessed to her about how he killed April Pease. Janelle told the prosecution Marks confided in her a few years after Pease went missing about how he and his girlfriend went to Minnesota to take Pease and leave her body in a shack in the Dakotas. To refresh Janelle's memory, District Attorney Henry Garza started to play the video. Marks left her saying he was going to save Adrian. Marks then got mad and told Judge Steve Dusky the prosecution is disgusting to make her stick to a lie she told police and how the judge is helping them. Marks continued on to say, whether I'm put to death or not, this is a dirty system, dirty county, dirty people. In response, Judge Dusky immediately asked for Marks to be escorted outside. Back in court, Marks was denied being excused while the video was played, and Marks then demanded to be taken out the courtroom. At 6, we'll go into what Jenna's father and Michael's mother had to say in their emotional testimony. Live in Belton, Earl Stoudemire, Fox 44 News.
Thanks, Earl. One person is dead after a Monday night shooting in Bryan. Officers were called to the 3300 block of South College Avenue regarding reports of shots being fired. On arrival, they found one victim identified as 22-year-old Courtney Jermaine O'Brien with life-threatening injuries. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. This investigation is ongoing. 31-year-old William Glenn Patton is facing felony charges after a woman was beaten. Her car was taken and deputies were led on a lengthy chase. Waco police was called to the 1100 block of J.J. Fluellen Drive early this morning on what was initially reported as a robbery. They found a woman who they were told was punched and thrown to the ground by a man that took her car and drove off. The vehicle was later spotted, and after about an hour-long pursuit, he was eventually stopped and taken into custody. The Waco Police Department is apologizing after an officer shot and killed a dog Saturday while going to the wrong house on a burglary call. In a press release, the department says dispatchers put an address into a GPS system and it autocorrected to a different address. Officers went there after dispatchers received a call from someone screaming that a male kicked her door in. The call taker also heard a male's voice in the background stating, quote, "I'm not trying to hurt you," before the line went dead. When officers arrived to the wrong address, they say a back door was open, which matched information from the original call. They announced themselves and multiple dogs ran towards them. One dog, later identified as Finn, reportedly lunged at an officer twice, prompting the officer to shoot the dog. Finn's owner took him to an emergency center where the dog died. Waco PD says they are taking steps to keep this from happening again. Caritas of Waco and TXU Energy are helping those in need in the Waco community have a safe and cool summer. Fox 44's Renako G attended the distribution to learn more about the community impact on this initiative.
Caritas and TXU Energy are joining forces to help people beat the heat this summer as they are providing the Waco community with fans and additional resources for those who are in need. As a state known for its blistering heat during summers, Texans are in need of a safe and cool relief for the months ahead. Partners TXU Energy and Caritas of Waco are ensuring so by having staff and volunteers distributing more than 200 box fans, along with large baskets of food, including fresh fruits and vegetables. Customer Advocacy Senior Senior Manager with TXU Energy, Kim Campbell, shares why this is an important initiative for every summer.
We want to make sure that people stay safe. We never want someone to choose between food, medication, paying your electricity bill, and staying cool during the summer months. So nothing better than partnering with Caritas. Receive a basket of food and your box fan today.
TXU Energy has helped thousands of Texans stay cool for 25 years under the Beat the Heat program. The electricity provider donated $5,000 to provide for Waco area household needs. Coming up at 6, learn more about the additional resources that both organizations offer. In Waco, Renako G, Fox 44 News.
The Marlin Independent School District senior class is now set to graduate later this month. This comes after graduation was postponed due to the majority of seniors not meeting graduation requirements. The key factors, it seems, were attendance and grades. Superintendent Daryl Henson tells Fox 44 News that as of today, 33 out of 38 seniors have met all graduation requirements. Dr. Henson says Monday was the district's first day of the extended school year, and the remaining seniors are working diligently in completing all coursework and making up time due to excessive absenteeism. Graduation is set for Thursday, June 22nd at 5 p.m. in the Marlin High School auditorium. If you're looking for a job in Bell County, there are 2 school districts that can help. Temple ISD is hosting a job fair tomorrow from 3:30 to 5 at the Temple ISD Administration Building. District is looking to hire for all positions for the 2023-24 school year. Belton ISD is also hosting a job fair tomorrow from 1 to 3 p.m. at Chisholm Trail Elementary. Belton ISD says it has openings for all positions, including classroom teachers, special education and support staff, professional administrative, auxiliary, and substitute positions. HEB is also looking to hire. The company is hosting a job fair from 10 to 3 p.m. tomorrow at its Temple warehouse located at 4401 Corporate Way. This is for full-time warehouse order selector positions. Pay starts at $19 an hour with nights and weekend hourly premiums available. Benefits also include a 10% HEB product discount program, annual pay reviews, partner stock plan, a 401k plan with a 4% company match, paid time off, and a health, vision, and dental plan. Coming up, D-Day was 79 years ago, and events remembering the great sacrifice of soldiers took place both abroad and here at home. We'll take a look.
Weather-wise, we're still spotting a few showers and isolated thunderstorms this evening. They'll go down once the sun goes down, but the temperatures continue to warm up, especially as we approach the weekend of the 10-day forecast coming up next.
This is Fox 44 News at 5:30 with Adam Hooper, MG Montemayor, AMS certified chief meteorologist Mike LaPointe, and sports with Eric Kelly.
Issue an alert. A missing person just became the prime suspect.
Don't miss Alert, Thursdays on Fox.
Join happy Optimum customers who love their fast Optimum 300 meg internet for as low as $30 a month. Paul says reliable internet, great speed, reasonable pricing. Thanks, Paul. We think you're great too. And it's 99.9% reliable with equipment included. Get Optimum 300 meg internet for $30 a month with Optimum Mobile for as low as $15 a month. For your special offer, call 866-9-OPTIMUM. Go to Optimum.com or visit a store today. Get closer, go farther with Optimum.
Sizzling summer savings are happening this Saturday at Ashley. Get ready to save on the hottest furniture styles with 30% off store-wide. And to make sizzling savings even hotter, we're offering 60 months, no interest. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday only at Ashley.
At Affordable Dentures and Implants, we believe in the healing power of a new smile. The way it makes you look and feel. The way a smile lights up a room. So people can see the best version of you. Which is why we make new smiles affordable for everyone, so you don't need to wait another day to get your smile back. Scan the QR code to learn more, or visit affordabledentures.com.
Go ahead and smile.
When it's more than just your lawn, it deserves the Kubota Z400. When you need a head-turning offer on class-leading speed, agility, durability, simple deck height adjustments, and a professional-grade cut, then you need the Kubota Z400 mower. Now, get the Z400 mower for 0 down, 0% APR for 48 months, or save $300.
WC Tractor, now with 6 convenient locations to serve you. Find us at WCTractor.com.
Right now at Ashley, discover the luxury and support of a good night's sleep with select Ashley Sleep Queen mattresses starting at $9.99. And for a limited time, buy a bed gear pillow or mattress protector. Get the second half off. Shop and save today. Only at Ashley.
Wednesdays, only on News Nation. Cuomo.
Bill O'Reilly, appreciate your perspective.
O'Reilly.
I need 2 minutes of uninterrupted time.
Toe-to-toe on TV's liveliest, most honest debate.
He's going to lose. I don't know that he's going to lose. Voting started in September. You want to bet? Yeah, I'll bet you. I'll bet you lunch.
Special guest Bill O'Reilly on Cuomo.
Yum, yum, yum. Humble pie.
Wednesdays at 8, 7 Central on America's fastest growing cable news network.
How about that?
News Nation.
Welcome back. It's been 79 years to the day since D-Day. In the nation's capital today, the country remembers the sacrifices thousands of young Americans made far from home. Fox's Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with more.
June 6, 1944, the D-Day invasion of Normandy and the beginning of the end of World War II. 79 years later, the world still remembers the sacrifice those men made on the beaches of Normandy.
For a brief moment in history, these men held our nation's destiny in their hands. We did not fail.
At the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C., there is a new plaque completing the memorial, remembering the D-Day prayer President Franklin D. Roosevelt gave on June 6th.
Give strength to their arms, stoutness to their hearts, steadfastness in their faith. They will need thy blessings.
Funded by donations, sponsors hope it helps Americans understand the sacrifice of those soldiers.
These American soldiers came not to conquer, not for the lust of conquest, as the prayer says, but for the love of liberty, to liberate people from tyranny.
Dedicated June 6, 2023, the event brought in veterans of past wars.
Profound respect for that generation. They are the greatest generation. People who have fought World War II.
And the young, who will only ever read about the day in history books.
They deserve to be appreciated, even though the war was a long time ago.
This memorial sees 5 million visitors each year and remembers the 400,000 American lives lost. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Weather Rate certified most accurate forecast in Central Texas. This is Fox 44 Weather with Chief Meteorologist Mike LaPointe.
Kind of looking at a mix of sun and clouds today, and again with the heat in the afternoon, popping up some showers and some isolated storms. We'll show you that in just a second. Right now, those skies are partly to maybe mostly cloudy right now. We are looking live in Temple, our live Centex Roof System Sky Tracker. It's on top of the Kyle Building in downtown Temple, where our current temperature is at 88 degrees. Our feels like our heat index right now at 90 degrees. Here's our exclusive Viper radar. Quiet conditions as we speak in the Waco area down toward Temple and Killeen, but some widely scattered showers and some isolated storms. They are below severe limits, but you could get some wind gusts around 40 miles per hour and maybe some very, very little hail with that. We're going to watch that closely. You can see kind of riding right along the Hill County over toward the Bosque County line right now, diving down to the south. Another little cell kind of pulsating up, as you can see right here, the reds, and then kind of falling apart there in Hamilton County. Another spot will take you down toward Mills County. There's some Saba County and Lampasas County. Some stronger showers and thunderstorms, some heavier downpours south of the Goldthwaite area. You might get some little hail out of that and some windy conditions. And again, a lot of this is either moving to the south at about 10 miles an hour or kind of stationary. Hasn't been moving too fast. Now, where it's been raining, temperatures have been in the 70s, 75 degrees in the Brownwood area, but we've got a bunch of 80s up and down I-35. It's 88 degrees in College Station. A little humidity out there, so our heat index jumps it into the 90s in most spots. Again, the exception where we've got that rain, cooled air off to our west. So here's the forecast as we go throughout the evening. Widely scattered or isolated thunderstorms in the forecast. Once the sun goes down, we're going to see those go down as well. So by midnight, skies again clearing out across the region. And then by tomorrow morning, we're looking at lows in the upper 60s to around 70 degrees. As we go throughout the morning, mostly sunny skies turn to partly cloudy conditions. This is by noontime, and by the afternoon, we'll make a run at the upper 80s and lower 90s. And just like today, some widely scattered showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm will be possible. But once we go late Wednesday into Thursday, you can see some leftovers moving from West Texas into the central part of the state, but kind of falling apart. So as we start today on Thursday, again, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. As we go throughout the day, we'll heat it up. And again, some spotty showers, some isolated thunder may be possible. Upper 80s to lower 90s here across the region. And as we look over the next couple of days and the next week or two, this is from the Climate Prediction Center, warmer than average temperature. Our average high right now is about 91 degrees. We're going to be well above that here over the next couple of weeks. As you know, that ridge is starting to build, and it looks like we're going to be drier than normal here over the next couple of weeks. So the forecast for tonight, about a 20% chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm. If you get one, it will cool you off. It's not going to last a long time. If you don't see it, clearing skies, we drop to 67. And then tomorrow's forecast, there's that mix of sun and clouds. Once again, an afternoon shower or scattered thunderstorm may pop up in the afternoon. About 89 degrees, your high. Here's the long-range 10-day forecast. Temperatures begin to warm up. A little bit better chance right now on Saturday, about 96 degrees. Only a 30% chance, so a little bit better, right? But next week, there's the general trend, and I pulled out the HO2 because it's going to be hot. Average high temperatures are in the 90s. We're looking at triple-digit heat there as early as Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. It's going to get hot. Nighttime lows only falling into the mid to upper 70s, and then down toward Bryan and College Station. 89 degrees tomorrow, and then as we hit the weekend, we're going to see temperatures in the mid-90s, a slight chance of a scattered shower storm, but the general trend is next week above normal temperatures. There's the triple-digit heat and dry conditions here across our area.
Here comes Mike. Our summer heat
is
working its way towards us now. Oh my gosh. I saw some of those scattered showers, but they don't last long. Driving back into town, they kind of last here and there, and they're gone like this. So.
Yeah, they don't last long. They bring out a lot of heavy rainfall, some lightning with it, maybe some stronger winds, but they last, 5-10 minutes, and then they go down. They're all generated with the heat and the sun. So once the sun goes down, they lose a lot of their energy, and they start to collapse and fall apart.
Oh gosh, I wish we had more of that than the heat.
Yeah, and it helps keep us us cooler too. You're right.
We do need it.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Mike. Coming up next in sports, we'll hear from the Texas A&M baseball team after the Aggies season ended a game short of the Super Regional round.
This weather segment is brought to you by Centex Roof Systems, your hometown roofer. Call today, 751-7700.
Centex Roof Systems has been serving Central Texas and Waco since 1987. Built on old-fashioned family values, core beliefs, and morals, we strive to go above and beyond to make your project run as smoothly as possible. When you call your hometown commercial roofer, you know we'll exceed expectations to provide unique solutions for your roofing needs, payment options, and even insurance claims. Big or small, there's no job that Centex Roof Systems can't handle. Your hometown commercial roofer.
We're busy. I get it. So Stanton Optical works with your schedule. Buy online, pick up in store same day, and get a free fitting. I mean, look at my to-do list. Same day eye exam, same day glasses. 2 pairs plus eye exam for only $79.
Martial arts is my passion.
I work out whenever I can.
But with my moderate to severe eczema, it can be tough.
My skin was so uncomfortable.
The itching was so bad.
Now I'm staying ahead of my eczema.
There's a power inside all of us to live our passion. And Dupixent works on the inside to help heal your skin from within. It helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema, so adults can have long-lasting, clearer skin and fast itch relief. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor.
Healing from within is a powerful thing.
Ask your eczema specialist how Dupixent can help heal your skin from within.
In Texas, every day can be an adventure. That's why we created the Ford Explorer, an SUV for adventures big and small. It's designed to see what you can't with an available 360-degree camera and voice-activated Sync 3 to stay connected. Plus, it's the all-time best-selling SUV in America. Be adventure-ready with Ford Explorer.
Now get a new 2023 Ford Explorer with 3.9 financing for 60 months, plus $2,000 bonus cash. See your best in Texas Ford dealer.
Welcome to Too Good to Guess. Can you guess how much 2 pairs of Progressives, a free eye exam, and anti-glare lens upgrade will cost at Stanton Optical? Only $135? Wow, a deal so good, every customer wins. Book your eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
Fox 44 Sports with Eric Kelly.
Well, it's been quite the run for China Spring Athletics over the past 2 seasons. Cougars have, amongst many other accomplishments, won 2 state football titles, and as of Thursday night, made back-to-back state baseball tournaments as well. With this China Spring baseball team become pretty well known for its ability to battle back from series deficits, doing so against both Carthage and most recently Taylor in the regional final. But that 3-game series format goes away at state. So for the Cougars, it's all about bringing that top-level performance tomorrow in Austin against a Sinton team that comes in the game as a top-ranked 4A team in the state.
I just look at it as an advantage for us. You know, we don't have that hype. We don't care to have that hype. We're just trying to play a baseball game tomorrow and beat the opponent, and they're going to wear a maroon uniform, and their name is Sinton, and they're high school kids just like us, and we're going to give them our best effort, and you know, our best effort's pretty good.
Once we got in the playoffs against Carthage, that second game when we walked it off, I was like, you know, this team has some great potential to make the state, and we're going to win.
A lot of confidence from that China Spring team. Meanwhile, the quest for a championship nationally ended last night for the Texas A&M baseball team. Aggies saw Stanford score 7 unanswered runs to close out the game and A&M season after the Aggies took a 1-0 lead in the second inning with Jim Schlossnagel and company coming up just short of another trip to the Super Regionals.
We couldn't get the big hit, and then they either got the big hit or you know, had some things go their way, which that happens in baseball, the infield singles, and we lose a pop-up in the twilight. So, but they earned it, all those guys, you know, and it's not just the seniors. The guys who have been here in the last 2 years have changed the expectations of the program. You know, there's going to be a day where we have a new ballpark, and I'm hoping 12 to 15,000 seats, and the whole reason it happened is because of guys like this.
So with that loss in the regionals, baseball season now guaranteed to end this week. The question is whether or not China Spring and Abbott will both be able to extend that at least by a day to Thursday, with both of them playing tomorrow in those state semifinals.
Well, that one player was super confident, so I feel like, you know, if they believe in themselves, and the coach is like, well, I'm not going to make ourselves sound like we're going to be in for sure. They're taking it a game at a time, right?
Yeah, listen, this China Spring team knows a thing or two about winning on the biggest stages. We mentioned it. They've won 2 4A state titles in the last 2 seasons. A lot of those kids have that crossover between this and baseball. And like I said, they've been there before. They went to the state semifinals last season. So the Cougars are certainly prepared for anything they're going to get tomorrow in Austin.
All right, we're looking forward to it. Yep. All right, thanks, Eric. Coming up, U.S. regulators continue targeting crypto firms for allegedly bypassing securities laws. And here's what's on Fox 44 tonight.
Sheldon and Missy face off in Book Smarts versus Street Smarts.
It was like thwack and then thunk.
Young Sheldon.
It's at 5 and 6:30 on Fox 44.
Hey, it's Greg May. I'm not selling cars today, I'm selling gates. I needed a gate, and I knew just the right people to call. Syntex Metals. They did an incredible job, quick, thorough. If you're looking for a gate, they are definitely the company to call.
We're your hometown roofer, and we approve this message.
Let me help you with that. I'm good, man, thanks. Are you sure?
Everyone can use a little help. Volkswagen Tiguan with Front Assist. Visit your local Volkswagen dealer for 1.9% APR financing for 36 months on a new 2023 Taos or Tiguan.
Dinosaur Adventure roars into Bryan. 1 weekend only. Brazos County Expo. With life-size dinosaurs and massive family fun. Experience the thrill of the prehistoric age, featuring the ferocious T-Rex, Triceratops, Velociraptor, and more. Go on a realistic fossil dig. Take a ride on your favorite dinosaur. Bounce around in the prehistoric playground and a baby dinosaur meet and greet. Take an amazing dinosaur adventure. This weekend only. Brazos County Expo. Tickets at dinosauradventure.com.
With Gold Bond, you can age on your own terms.
Retinol Overnight means the smoothing benefits of retinol are now for your whole body. Plus, fast-working crepe corrector diminishes wrinkled skin in just 2 days. Gold Bond, champion your skin.
At Lorenz & Lorenz, we take care of injured people. Let us help you too.
Once I called Ted Lorenz, they did everything. I didn't have to do anything. It was amazing. Ted's team was on top of it.
Call 254-662-4800.
At Affordable Dentures and Implants, we believe in the healing power of a new smile, the way it makes you look and feel, the way a smile lights up a room, so people can see the best version of you. Which is why we make new smiles affordable for everyone, so you don't need to wait another day to get your smile back. Scan the QR code to learn more, or visit affordabledentures.com.
Go ahead and smile.
Why are there 2 extra seats? I know, Uncle Dan and his giant beard.
The Volkswagen Atlas, with best-in-class third-row legroom. Get 3.9% APR financing for 60 months on new 2023 Atlas Family SE with tech models. Limited inventory available.
Welcome back. Federal regulators target one of the nation's leading cryptocurrency exchanges. The SEC cracks down on another crypto firm, and this time the agency is suing Coinbase, America's largest cryptocurrency exchange platform, accusing it of operating since at least 2019 as an unregistered broker. In its complaint, the SEC alleges Coinbase made billions acting as the middleman for cryptocurrency buyers and sellers, but it deprived its investors of what SEC Chairman Gary Gensler tweeted were, quote, critical protections, including rulebooks that prevent fraud and manipulation. The company, however, is fighting back. In a statement, Coinbase accuses the SEC of not being transparent on how it regulates cryptocurrencies. Coinbase's chief legal officer is saying, quote, the solution is legislation that allows fair rules for the road to be developed transparently and applied equally, not litigation. In the meantime, we'll continue to operate our business as usual. As lawmakers focus on rail safety, Amtrak is going to Congress for more money to help keep its passengers safe. Train safety is in the spotlight following recent derailments that spread hazardous chemicals in residential areas. And now lawmakers are focusing on America's passenger rail system. Amtrak officials heading to Capitol Hill asking Congress for more money to modernize its systems, including $8 billion in government grants to fix bridges, tunnels, and other aging infrastructure. But the company is having trouble convincing skeptical Republicans to sign off. The GOP says Amtrak already has enough funding. The 2021 infrastructure bill appropriated $22 billion, but the company says it needs the additional cash because revenues plummeted during the COVID pandemic, and they're now just starting to see train traffic return to pre-2019 levels. TXU Energy and Caritas and Waco teaming up to help Texans beat the heat this summer.
Eliminate stress at iMart Express. New customers get 40% off your first purchase, protected with a free 365-day guarantee, covering both frames and lenses. Visit an iMart Express today and save 40% on your new pair made with free same-day speed.
At Honda, we offer complimentary maintenance for 2 years or 24,000 miles. Just enjoy the ride, knowing we cover routine items like oil changes, tire rotations, and multi-point inspections. Honda Service Pass, available to purchasers of all 2023 Honda vehicles. Get yours today.
When you're hurt in a serious car wreck, you can trust the experience of Chad Jones Law. We have a team of attorneys and legal staff who can explain your rights and what they may be worth. You don't have to fight the insurance company alone. Trust the experience of Chad Jones Law.
I'm attorney Chad Jones. If you've been hurt in a car wreck or a wreck involving an 18-wheeler, call me now. There's no fee unless we win your case.
Chad Jones Law, 1-800-64-JONES.
Texas Star Tire and Auto Repair is your headquarters for the best tires, automotive repair, wheel alignments, and more, with a $34.99 oil change for full synthetic and a $19.99 oil change for synthetic blend. Tire services, preventive maintenance, and more, all at a fair price. Inspections, brake repair, diagnostics are just a few services we have to offer. We take an engineering approach to utilize state-of-the-art technology and a methodical plan, do, check, act, problem-solving process to maximize the quality you deserve. Our convenient location serves Waco, McGregor, Lorena, and surrounding areas.
Eliminate stress at iMart Express. New customers get 40% off your first purchase, protected with a free 365-day guarantee, covering both frames and lenses. Visit an iMart Express today and save 40% on your new pair made with free same-day speed.
Download or update the Fox 44 News mobile app and get your news now.
Straight ahead on Fox 44 News at 6, we're in day 2 of the Cedric Marks sentencing. We have a live update. And the Senate is expected to gavel in an hour and could vote on Senate bills during the special session. We have the latest.
Covering Temple, McGregor, and all of Central Texas, this is Fox 44 News at 6.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Fox 44 News at 6. I'm MG Montemayor. Adam Hooper has the night off. Well, the state has now rested its case in the sentencing portion of the Cedric Marks trial after going into his history of bad acts. Before Marks had the floor to defend himself, Michael Swearingen's mother and Jenna Scott's father provided emotional testimony. Fox 44's Earl Stoudemire joins us live outside the Bell County Justice Center with the latest. Earl.
MG, it was a hard moment for both Michael's mother and Jenna's father as they explained to the jury how their lives have forever changed without their children. Jenna's father, Jonathan, explained to the jury how Jenna's daughter, Emery, struggles without having her mom being at games and award ceremonies. Jonathan said Jenna was fearful in the last living moments, but didn't want fear to control her life. Jonathan finished off to say Jenna wanted to use her past with some rough spots to help others in counseling. Michael's mother, Deborah Harrison, said his death has been devastating and gut-wrenching for their family. Harrison says she has experienced debilitating health problems alongside other family members, some passing away from grief and depression. In reference to Marks, Harrison said he always talks about his kids. What about my child? We've lost our children. Think about how that feels, Marks. I will never have grandkids. At the end, Harrison said she would hurt until the day she sees Michael in heaven and believes Marks should be on death row. With Marks now being able to defend himself, he did call Maxwell to testify, again denying that she played no parts in the death of killing Jenna and Michael. And then Marks said that he would have 3 more witnesses tomorrow testifying, with court ending early tomorrow afternoon. Live in Belton, Earl Stoudemire, Fox 44 News.
Thanks, Earl. Well, we had some pop-up showers in our area. Otherwise, a pretty nice looking evening on tap. For more on that, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Mike Lapointe. Mike, how's it looking?
MG, we are seeing those spotty showers like you said here across parts of the area. Otherwise, we've got partly to mostly cloudy skies right now. We'll start to clear it out, but you can see on our exclusive Viper radar, it is quiet in the Waco area down toward Temple and Killeen, but a few areas seeing some pop-up showers to our north. You'll notice actually a little bit not too far away from Waco over toward just east of Lacey Lakeview, but up around Hill County. But a lot of these diving to the south, but notice how they're fading away too. They're pulsating a little bit there in parts of Bosque County. Another area seeing some spotty showers and some heavier rainfall and some lightning out there. Southern Mills County heading over towards Sin Saba and not too far away from Lampasas County. Again, traveling down to the south. These are all generated with the heat of the day. Once the sun goes down, a lot of these go down, and you can see right now with our live Centex Roof System sky trackers here in Central Texas. Skies are partly to mostly cloudy, but they will start to clear out here very, very soon. We'll talk more about that and the rest of the week coming up in a few more minutes. MG, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. Caritas of Waco and TXU Energy are helping those in need in the Waco community have a safe and cool summer. Fox 44's Renalco G attended the distribution to learn more about the community impact of this initiative.
Caritas and TXU Energy are joining forces to help people beat the heat this summer as they are providing the Waco community with fans and additional resources for those who are in need. As a state known for its blistering heat during summers, Texans are in need of a safe and cool relief for the months ahead. Partners TXU Energy and Caritas of Waco are ensuring so by having staff and volunteers distributing more than 200 box fans, along with large baskets of food, including fresh fruits and vegetables. Customer Advocacy Senior Manager with TXU Energy, Kim Campbell, shares why this is an important initiative for every summer.
We want to make sure that people stay safe. We never want someone to choose between food, medication, paying your electricity bill, and staying cool during the summer months. So nothing better than partnering with Caritas. Receive a basket of food and your box fan today.
TXU Energy has helped thousands of Texans stay cool for 25 years under the Beat the Heat program. The electricity provider donated $5,000 to provide for Waco Waco area household needs. Caritas managed the fan distribution as a part of its regular client services. Executive Director of the nonprofit, Ann Owen, is grateful to be a part of today's distribution.
It makes my heart happy to be able to help people and to see a smile on their face. And you never know what struggles people are going through. And so we're just here to be a friendly face, to help them whenever we can and give them hope.
For more information on resources that both TXU Energy and Caritas offer to the community, you can visit our website at Fox 44 News. And as always, don't ever be afraid to ask for help. In Waco, Renako G, Fox 44 News.
In an hour, the Senate is expected to gavel in and could vote on Senate bills during the special session. But those bills can't go anywhere because the House adjourned last week. That's because the Senate and its leader, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, refused to support the Governor Abbott-backed House bills on property tax relief and border security. Monica Madden attended the press conference today and has the latest.
I invite Governor Abbott to a Lincoln-Douglas-style debate on this issue.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick once again taking his proposal for property tax relief to the public.
This fight's over. I think the people have spoken. I think the facts and the data is clear.
Calling a news conference to again push his plan to raise the homestead exemption to $100,000, which he says helps homeowners more than businesses. But Abbott and the House say their compression plan helps everyone. It would send $17 billion to school districts so they can lower their tax rates.
That's a negotiation that we are not backing down from, ever.
But with the House out for this special session, Patrick's proposals cannot make it through the legislative process.
Thank you, members.
The same goes for the border bill Abbott called lawmakers to pass, which would increase penalties for human smuggling.
But there are significant challenges with HB 2.
Senators in a border security committee hearing Tuesday morning making clear they won't approve the House smuggling bill already passed.
So it's not my intent to vote it.
In a statement, Speaker Phelan's office said in part, quote, "The Senate is keeping Texans waiting. We encourage the Senate to follow the House's lead." An ongoing standoff that might not end anytime soon.
I'll call special session after special session after special session until a solution is reached.
Texas is recommending criminal charges over Florida's transport of migrants to the Massachusetts island of Martha's Vineyard. The Behar County Sheriff's Office didn't name any suspects over accusations of unlawful restraint in connection with last year's flights from Texas to the upscale Massachusetts enclave. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and other state officials authorized the 2 charter flights carrying nearly 50 migrants from a shelter in San Antonio. DeSantis had said it was part of the state's program to relocate migrants to a sanctuary destination. According to the sheriff's office, the case is being reviewed by the district attorney's office, which could pursue charges including misdemeanor and felony counts of unlawful restraint. This week, the Navy and Air Force are joining the Army medical units for a joint emergency exercise hosted by Carl R. Darnell Army Medical Center. This is happening at the Fort Cavazos Medical Center to train emergency medicine medical personnel in realistic combat casualty care in order to increase unit and individual combat readiness and joint interoperability. Over 2,000 service members from 71 units representing over 60 medical specialties and multinational medical personnel will participate. The event wraps up on Friday. For the second week in a row, Canadian wildfires threaten quality across the U.S. We have that story coming up.
Weather-wise, we're seeing a few spotty showers right now across our area. Should start to go down once the sun goes down here, but temperatures continue to get pretty warm, especially next week. We'll talk about that trend coming up next.
This is Fox 44 News at 6. With Adam Hooper, MG Montemayor, AMS certified chief meteorologist Mike LaPointe, and sports with Eric Kelly.
Wednesdays, only on News Nation. Cuomo.
Bill O'Reilly, appreciate your perspective.
O'Reilly.
I need 2 minutes of uninterrupted time.
Toe-to-toe on TV's liveliest, most honest debate.
He's going to lose.
I don't know that he's going to lose. Voting started in September.
You want to bet?
Yeah, I'll bet you. I'll bet you lunch.
Special guest Bill O'Reilly on Cuomo.
Yum, yum, yum. Humble pie.
Wednesdays at 8, 7 Central on America's fastest growing cable news network.
How about that?
News Nation.
When the weather changes from day to day, you want a reliable weather team to count on. The Fox 44 Storm Team, Central Texas certified most accurate forecast.
Everywhere you look,
People are talking about Ultimate Summer Pass from TXU Energy.
I can see why. 50% off energy charges all summer is huge.
Yep. There's lots to love about these savings.
Plus, free energy on the hottest days means even bigger savings guaranteed.
With Ultimate Summer Pass, hot days are always the coolest days.
How'd that get in there? Should have seen that coming.
Yeah. TXU Energy. Energy for everything.
Eliminate stress at iMart Express. New customers get 40% off your first purchase, protected with a free 365-day guarantee, covering both frames and lenses. Visit an iMart Express today and save 40% on your new pair made with free same-day speed.
Need cash? TitleMax offers 2 ways to get it. Get cash using your car title. Go to TitleMax.com, enter the car year, make, model. See how much you can get. TitleMax also offers personal loans. No title required. Check out TitleMax.com when you need more cash. Check out TitleMax.com for rates. Check out TitleMax.com. All credit types accepted. Find out why so many people say,
I got my title back with TitleMax.
I got my title back with TitleMax.
Get your title back with TitleMax.
I feel amazing now. Life after surgery changed my whole life. I felt like I was reborn again. I felt happy. I go to the gym, I can run 10 minutes without stopping. I just love how everything looks on me.
How do you like my new roof? Due to wind and hail damage, I needed a total new roof. So I called my hometown roofer, Centex Roof Systems, who also discovered I needed some decking. They did it all, fast and expertly. I like the way they took the time to fully explain each step and what it meant to me as a homeowner. I love my new roof, and I'm glad I called Centex Roof Systems. When you're ready for a new roof, I think you'll be glad you called them too.
Eliminate stress at iMart Express. New customers get 40% off your first purchase, protected with a free 365-day guarantee, covering both frames and lenses. Visit an iMart Express today and save 40% on your new pair made with free same-day speed.
Canadian wildfires once again threatening air quality across the U.S. this week. It comes as weather conditions prompt red flag warnings across the Northeast and on the West Coast. Fox's Nicole Valdez has more.
Thick smoke from wildfires burning in Canada coated skies across America on Tuesday, prompting another day of air quality alerts throughout the Northeast and the Midwest.
I've noticed a trend of the air quality slowly getting worse, but not by a big amount.
Forecasters say air quality is moderate in most areas as smoke makes its way as far south as Tennessee. The increased pollution threatens to impact even the healthiest Americans, but health experts say it's especially dangerous for children, elderly people, or those with respiratory conditions.
I have noticed my asthma acting up, and I just thought it was pretty much a seasonal sinus type thing, but a lot more pollen.
Right now, Canada is seeing one of its worst fire seasons on record. Officials say more than 400 active fires are burning from coast to coast. The flames have scorched some 9 million acres of land and forced hundreds of thousands of people to evacuate. Fire season also heating up back here in the U.S. Low humidity and windy conditions are threatening to spark flames for millions of Americans on Tuesday. The National Weather Service issued a red flag warning for parts of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan, Washington, and Alaska. And forecasters say parts of the Northeast and the Midwest could see poor air quality through the end of this week. In Nashville, Tennessee, I'm Nicole Valdez, Fox Weather.
Weather Rate certified most accurate forecast in Central Texas. This is Fox 44 Weather with Chief Meteorologist Mike LaPointe.
We are looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies across the area right now. Dry conditions, at least for the time being, here in the McLennan County area. Not looking too bad. Matter of fact, speaking of McLennan County, let's just go right out the door here. This is our live Centex Roof System Sky Tracker right here in Woodway, and we are looking at Highway 84 where it's 86 degrees at this hour. Wind has been out of the northeast right around 8 miles per hour. Here's our exclusive Viper radar. All is quiet for the most part. Now you can see a little shower trying to pop up there south of Killeen, and we'll take a peek there in just a second. But some widely scattered showers moving in to Hill County, and look at this, just kind of falling apart. They pulsate, they drop some heavy rainfall. Basically, that just kills themselves, and then what they are going to be doing then is just kind of dissipating in pretty quiet weather. And then as we look down toward Bosque County and areas to the south there, again, some very spotty showers. Nothing is severe out there. You might get some heavy rainfall and some gusty winds and some lightning with that. But again, everything is under severe limits. This little cell that's popped up there just to the west of the Salado area, you can kind of see just kind of riding a little bit. That will start to fall apart as well. But these are very common at this time of the year with the heat of the day. Basically, they run until about 7, 8 o'clock tonight, and by 9 o'clock, they're starting to fade away. We've got 86 degrees officially out at the airport. It's 79, though, with that rain-cooled air up in Hillsboro. 89 Comanche, 78 in La Paz, so you can kind of tell where it has been raining. Still, temperatures very warm down in the Brazos Valley. College Station's at 89 degrees with a heat index of 91. Feels like 91 in Cameron, and even in Comanche, current heat index 91 degrees. So here's the forecast as we go throughout the evening. Some widely scattered hit and miss showers and storms to the south. It's going to be very isolated like we saw last night. Once the sun goes down, we lose some of that energy and we don't see much. And by midnight, clearing skies across the board. Temperatures by tomorrow morning falling into the upper 60s to lower 70s. As we hit the morning hours, mostly sunny skies for a while. Then the clouds start to billow up there, and with the heat, we'll start to generate some spotty showers. Not everybody will see those there with temperatures upper 80s to lower 90s. There's that complex of some rain, some thunder trying to come in from West Texas, but having a very difficult time. So we'll have some clouds. This is the start the day on Thursday with mostly cloudy skies, and then throughout the day on Thursday, clouds, some sunshine, and yes, you bet, some afternoon showers trying to pop up there with the heat of the day. Now, how does it look for the next 2 weeks? This is the 8 to 14 day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. It is showing temperatures above normal. Our normal high is in the lower 90s. There's the ridge beginning to build there, and you know how that goes. That's the ring of fire just about. And then by the next couple of weeks for the rainfall amounts, the wet weather well to the north, drier than normal. This is not what we want to see, but this is very typical here in our area. The forecast then for tonight, still some spotty showers, some isolated thunder through about 9 o'clock. Then clearing skies, we drop to 67 degrees. And then tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds. There's that 20% chance of an afternoon shower storm popping up. About 89 degrees the high. North winds at 4 to 8 miles per hour. And then as we look ahead, your first choice dense long range 10-day forecast. Mid-90s, slight chances of rain, maybe a 30% chance right now on Saturday. But the story will be the heat building and the dry weather. We're talking temperatures upper 90s to lower 100s next week. Here it comes. You've been warned. I think we can hit triple digits there on Wednesday, and that'll continue at least on Thursday and Friday. Nighttime lows will also start to come up down toward Bryan and College Station. 89 tomorrow. Over the weekend will be in the 90s, and then next week it will be hot, mid to upper 90s, pushing 100 degrees. If you don't have your air conditioning fixed or
get it done.
Yeah, even the fans, get those all ready to roll because we'll need them next week.
And it's going to be really warm.
Yeah, very,
wear that
very
sunscreen
hot.
And, just, I don't know, protect yourself.
That's right.
The sun's not good for you.
And we're getting into the hottest part of the summer. We get June, July, and August, as you know.
No.
Last July, every day was 100 degrees or hotter. So let's hope that doesn't occur again this year.
It's a little better this year, so we'll take it.
So far, so good.
All right, thanks, Mike.
You bet.
Coming up, we tell you why Merck is suing the Biden administration.
This weather segment is brought to you by Centex Roof Systems, your hometown roofer. Call today, 751-7700.
Hail damage to your roof can be costly, so why not protect yourself? Let Centex Roof Systems upgrade your roof today to the new IKO Nordic Class 4 impact-resistant architectural shingle with high-profile ridge. With a lifetime warranty, it can resist hail up to 1 inch, and it could save you up to 25% on your insurance. Call your hometown roofer today and get your IKO Pro Roof Certified Installation Estimate. Call Centex Roof Systems for your quote or visit us online at centexrs.com.
Let me help you with that.
I'm good, man. Thanks.
Are you sure? Everyone can use a little help. Volkswagen Tiguan with Front Assist. Visit your local Volkswagen dealer for 1.9% APR financing for 36 months on a new 2023 Taos or Tiguan.
Cutter is amazing. He's courageous. He's strong. And I think that's what saved him. A year ago, Cutter was involved in a farm accident at her house. And here we are a year later, and he's doing great. I love you, buddy. This entire journey has definitely strengthened our whole family. I hope he reaches for the stars and he will succeed.
Never fear. Courage is right here.
Why are there 2 extra seats? I know, Uncle Dane and his giant beard.
The Volkswagen Atlas with best-in-class third-row legroom. Get 3.9% APR financing for 60 months on new 2023 Atlas Family SE with tech models. Limited inventory available.
On the next Young Sheldon.
I'm running for class president. Put her there.
A win for Sheldon is up for debate.
Please welcome Sheldon Cooper.
The next Young Sheldon.
Coming up at 6:30 here on Fox 44.
Did you know Texas Health and Human Services has a free helpline to guide Texas residents through the complexities of Medicare? Get answers to all your Medicare questions. Call 800-252-9240 today.
Covering Killeen, Woodway, and all of Central Texas. This is Fox 44 News at 6.
Welcome back. A painful virus that led to a public health emergency in Austin last year is back. Austin Public Health is asking people to get vaccinated now against Mpox before we see another summertime surge of cases. Austin Public Health Medical Director Dr. Desmar Walk says there were a total of 280 cases that were reported last year in Austin, and that number was kept low by the fact that there was a community response right away. People started getting vaccinated. Dr. Walk says she encourages people to start getting vaccinated now rather than waiting until Pride, which occurs in August, because there are a lot of other Pride festivities across the country that people may want to go and participate in, and they'd like them to be protected when they go. Merck is suing the Biden administration over a law that will allow the government to negotiate prescription drug prices with pharmaceutical companies. Merck argues the program, which is part of the Inflation Reduction Act, is unconstitutional and violates the First and Fifth Amendments by allowing the government to simply impose its preferred price on drug makers. The pharmaceutical giant filed suit this morning against the Department of Health and Human Services, calling the program aimed at cutting costs for elderly and disabled Medicare patients a sham and extortion. Merck wants a judge to block the government from forcing the company's participation in the program. President Biden has been a vocal critic of drug pricing, and so far the White House has not commented on the suit. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Meet one mom. It is amazing what a little love and a lot of white wine spritzers can create. American Housewife.
On Fox 44.
Are you confused about your investments? Want more time with your family and friends? At Van Dyke Capital Management, we want to help you with your investments. We want to be your neighborhood friend. You're important to us. Call today.
Car wrecks can be scary. It can feel like the whole world is crashing down all around you. And the insurance company doesn't want to pay for any of it. Come on, that's not right. Tell them to call me. I'm on top of it.
Hi, I'm Javier, and I'm his dad, Jack. And we are First Choice Dents, your local experts on paintless dent repair. Whether it's hail damage or door dings, we want to earn your first choice.
Now's the time to get a great deal on taking care of your property. You need tractors rated #1 in durability and owner experience so you can do it all and do it right. Z-Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for 72 months, plus save up to $800.
WC Tractor, now with 6 convenient locations to serve you. Find us at WCTractor.com.
Everywhere you look, People are talking about Ultimate Summer Pass from TXU Energy.
I can see why. 50% off energy charges all summer is huge.
Yep. There's lots to love about these savings.
Plus, free energy on the hottest days means even bigger savings guaranteed.
With Ultimate Summer Pass, hot days are always the coolest days.
How'd that get in there? Should have seen that coming.
Yeah. TXU Energy. Energy for everything.
In Texas, every day can be an adventure. That's why we created the Ford Explorer, an SUV for adventures big and small. It's designed to see what you can't with an available 360-degree camera and voice-activated Sync 3 to stay connected. Plus, it's the all-time best-selling SUV in America. Be adventure-ready with Ford Explorer.
Now get a new 2023 Ford Explorer with 3.9 financing for 60 months, plus $2,000 bonus cash. See your best in Texas Ford dealer.
Hi, I'm Javier, and I'm his dad, Jack. And we are First Choice Dents, your local experts on paintless dent repair. Whether it's hail damage or door dings, we want to earn your first choice.
When the weather changes from day to day, you want a reliable weather team to count on. The Fox 44 Storm Team, Central Texas certified most accurate forecast.
Welcome back. Well, you might leave with your face all slobbered up after hanging out with this dog. Check it out. A Labrador and German Shepherd mix named Zoe from Maturi, Louisiana, has claimed the world record for longest tongue on a living dog. Wow, look at that. The 3-year-old pup has a 5-inch long tongue that is longer than a soda can. Her owner says even a pup, she would stick out her tongue out. And the proof is in the first picture of Zoe. Zoe's owner says some of her favorite activities include fetching balls, chasing squirrels, going on car rides, and of course, showing off her long tongue. That is freaking real.
So I'm assuming she's not allowed on the furniture.
Probably not all that dripping.
Or an exercise.
Can you imagine?
Right?
Yeah.
I know.
Oh my
but like
gosh.
when she's drinking water.
Can you imagine?
Oh, my concern for her is that when she's running around, she might step on it.
Her long
so
tongue.
close.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So close to the ground, right?
Or when you're like
bite
hot,
it.
when they're panning outside, it's just going to be like right in front
All
of
over
her,
the place.
slinging away. But hey, you know what? She's so cute. You can't even tell it's long.
She would be struggling outside today.
She would be.
In the heat.
And it's going to get even hotter. I know. Take a look at the forecast here. We've got a few isolated showers and storms out there right now. They'll start to go down about 9 or so. Not everybody will see it. 89 degrees tomorrow. Thursday, 93. We're talking mid to upper 90s as we approach the weekend. So hot weather definitely coming our way. Our average highs in the lower 90s. By next week, though, we've got those temperatures upper 90s to lower 100s.
Zoe, stay inside.
There you go.
Zoe,
yes.
do it.
I'm begging you.
And she's a black dog, so she absorbs heat too.
Well, and that's just a reminder too. Watch the animals next week, right? You don't want to put those animals out when it's too hot, right?
Yes, paws will burn up. All right, guys. Stay cool out there. Thanks for joining us. And be sure to check out fox44news.com. That's where it's at. We'll see you again tonight at 9. Also, check us out on Facebook and Twitter.